everyone, welcome to episode 23 of What's Up Biscotte Yarns with Julie. I'm your host Julie, filming from our store in Northvale, New Jersey. Welcome or welcome back, whichever the case may be. Today I'm going to start the show off with some Christmassy themed ideas and products, and then I'm going to segue into the usual ramble about our patterns and the yarns used for those projects. So to start the show off, I'm going to share with you this huge box. Here it is. This is the 2023 Biscotte Yarns Advent Calendar. I've already done an episode or a video exclusively on this baby, so I'm going to put a link in the description which will give you a lot more detail, but I'll just give you a quick recap of what this Advent Calendar is about. So we are already sending out these Advent calendars. We have already started shipping them out on November 1st. So the point of the Advent calendar is that you can open up a box within, if one of these days I can undo the ribbon, and you would open up one box per day starting December 1st. So to make it more fun, the numbers are not sequential, they're everywhere. So you kind of do a little bit of a hunting for your number. Can I find the first one? Here is number 1. So on December 1st, you would open up this box and then you will find goodies in there. And then it may be yarn, it may be notion, it may be a pattern, who knows. And then the next day, December 2nd, you would do the same, so on and so forth, until you get to Christmas Day. So what's going to be in those little cubbies? There are going to be socks, like I said. There are going to be Sockway yarn socks, our Bis sock. There will be several of them. There will be a DK Pure. There will be something from Merino Worsted, and as well as the star of this year's Advent Calendar, a full skein of brushed cashmere, which is our Dolce line. I have shared with you a pattern and talked a little bit about the yumminess of that yarn last episode or the episode before, I can't remember, but not too long ago. So you are going to have one full skein of that baby in this box. So there are also going to be 4 exclusive patterns, and you can choose to when you check out, if you want to buy this box, when you check out, you could choose to have the patterns printed and they will be stuffed in the little cubby, or you could choose a digital copy of it, for which we will email you the patterns. So you will have it either way. The point of giving you that option is that some people, like myself, prefer to not work with physical copies. I have a giant iPad, or what my children lovingly call it, the J-pad. So I really don't need to have to print out, because the iPad is big enough for me to see clearly, and I can also pinch it, you know, closer when I have to look at something up close. And I also have an Apple Pencil, so I can make notes or whatever as I go along. But, you know, of course, it depends on how you use your device, or whether you have one to use that would be good for this. You know, the good thing about having the paper version of the pattern is that you can, you know, stow it with your project, so you will always have them together, because sometimes you might forget to leave your device, or maybe it ran out of battery, whatever. So you do you. Point is, you have an option: paperless version, which will be a little bit less in price, or the printed out version where you have everything there for you. Like I said earlier, there are also going to be some notions. Biscotte Yarns working with its local artisans for some little goodies stuffed in those cubbies. So I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm going to give you a link to the full video I did on the 2023 Advent Calendar. You can buy them online, and we may have a few, very few of these advent calendars in our physical stores. So don't bank on just coming in and pick one up. You are better off just ordering online like now in order for you to secure your copy of it or your box of it. So that's Christmassy thing number one. Christmassy thing number two, please forgive the crinkly that I'm going to make right now. So from the West Yorkshire Spinners, sorry, is this kit. It's a Christmas blanket kit. I am going to hold up a picture of it that's less glary. You'll see it more clearly, hopefully. And then let me turn it to its back side so you can see all the yarns that come in this package. So there are the 3 Christmassy colors and they're all full skeins. Now these are, let me see, they are 100% Shetland Island wool. I haven't, you know what? I haven't even touched them. I'm guessing it's gonna feel very rustic. Let's see. Put it down. No, I'm wrong. This is actually, you know what? It is a little bit rustic, but it is also soft. Maybe I'm being contradictory. So here it is. This is one skein of the many you're gonna get in that kit. It's Aran Way, and it will require you to use US size 8 or 5mm knitting needles for this project. And let's see, what else can I show you? Oh, let me show you the picture of the finished project. So I just kind of pulled this from our website. Here it is. Oop, just kidding. Here. So this is the finished blanket laying on somebody's couch with the Christmas tree in a backdrop. It's wonderful, wonderful, very Christmassy throw or blanket for your couch. Definitely an heirloom. You know, make it for yourself. Maybe make it for a loved one who's moving into a new home, maybe newlyweds. So that could be their first Christmas present, you know, for their union. Many occasions, many things to celebrate this creation with. So for this project, it's called excuse me, it's on here, the Croft Woodside Fair Isle Festive Blanket. There it is, that's the full name. Again, I'll throw links in the description box. So you can get them on our website, I believe, and also in our store. We do have a few on hand in the New Jersey store. So definitely, if you wanted to just drop by to pick up your project, then give us a call first if you wanted to check with us to see to check its availability. While we're talking about that yarn company, the West Yorkshire Spinners, I'm having trouble with that name. I found this on one of our yarn cubbies along the theme of Christmas, right? I thought this looked pretty Christmassy by the same manufacturer. It is made in Yorkshire in the UK. This one, the colorway is called Hollyberry, and it is made with 35% wool, excuse me, 75% wool and 25% nylon. So you could do a lot with this. And let me do a field test. I do not feel the nyloniness of it. So this is pretty well made. It feels just like wool. So of the 75% content that is wool, 35% of it is blue-faced, Leicester? Is that how you pronounce it? BFL is usually how I hear people say it. So excuse my ignorance if I'm mispronouncing the breed name. Blue-faced Leicester, I think it's pronounced, or BFL, to be on the safe side. So this yarn is 4-ply, but it's fingering way. and you will get 7 stitches to an inch using a US 3. So it's kind of like heavy fingering, sport, bordering the two, yeah. US 3 or 3.25 millimeter knitting needles will get you 7 stitches to an inch. So that's this yarn. Again, let me see if I can say it good this time. West Yorkshire Spinners. There you go. So that's that. And then I have 3 more Christmassy themed yarns to share with you. One is called the Ho Ho Ho. That's the colorway, and this is from our Biscotte collection. So this is colorway Ho Ho Ho, and all of our Biscotte is 85% superwash merino and 15% of nylon, and this is how it knits up. Let me lock screen so I can turn it the other way. So this is actually turned, so if I flip it this way, this is how the color will stripe. You could probably see better like the stitch definition, right? So that's how it will knit up when you knit it, you know, in the round or flat, I suppose. So again, this is colorway Ho Ho Ho, very, very festive. And then here we have the peppermint, also in our Biscotte, and it looks like this. Here's the yarn, and that's how it knits up. And then lastly, one more Christmassy themed. This is called St. Nicholas. And here is what that looks like. This one is more tame colorway, if you will. The other ones are very loud and fun and festive. So this is how it looks like when it's knitted up in the round in that diameter. So those are the 3. Again, these are all Biscotte. I will put links to those specific colorways in case you're interested in those, but feel free to click around to see if there are other solid or semi-solid colors that you can mix and match and kind of like make a festive theme colorway for whatever project you may be working on. Next up, I will share with you a pattern that is for home furnishings, for dressing up your homes. Here I have a cushion. It's a 12 by 12 cushion, and this pattern is the textured diagonal stripe pillow. And here is obviously the diagonal stripe pattern, and then on its reverse side is solid. So half of it is in one color and then the other half the other color. And then the embellishment for this pillowcase, you have the flowers that you tag on, and then you also have these cute little tassels. And notice how this is kind of like a candy. It's like puffy in there. So what you do is you just stuff some cotton balls. That would be the easiest, because I think most households would have some cotton balls. But if you have some polyfill or whatever for, you know, making dolls or amigurumis, of course you can also use that. So here's the tassel on all 4 corners. That's kind of cute. It's a little bit unique. So the construction of this, let's start with the diagonal side. You cast on from the corner, and then you would just keep increasing the stitches until you're done with this. Let me hold it closer so you can see the stitch pattern. It's just garter stitch to start with, and then when you're done with the garter stitch section, you would switch color to the contrasting color and do this ribbing texture. And once that's done, you switch back to your main color, and then you will do, you see like how the gold part is threaded through those little posts. So those are just eyelets. You would create the little eyelets, and then later on, you're gonna make an I-cord, and then you just kind of thread it through. So to get this effect. And then after that, you move up with the golden color, baubles. Here we go. Here we are again, bobbles. Not too many bobbles, not compared to the sweater I showed you last time. And then you go back to the same eyelet patch here, and then back to the ribbing, garter, ribbing, the eyelet, the bobbles, eyelet, ribbing, and garter. Finish off with a garter. So at this point, this is the corner point. That's where you're continuing to increase, right? Because you're making it wider and wider. And then once you get to this point, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to start decreasing and taper off to like the way you have started it, to this garter corner here. So that's this fun side. And then in the reverse, like I said, you cast on this many number of stitches, and then you knit this much, and then you switch color, and then you continue knitting, and then you bind off, and then you just sew the sides together and add the embellishments and what have you. Of course, you know, family visiting time is upon us, right? With Thanksgiving right around the corner, and also Christmas. So, you know, maybe you want to freshen up your living room decor, and you could knit a couple of these, but instead of in this colorway that's more like all season, you want to be festive, and you can definitely deck out in your reds and greens and whites, or blues, you know, whatever, whatever you celebrate. Now the designer of this textured diagonal stripe pillowcase is Nikki Epstein. And the yarn that she chose for this project is from our granola line. And here are the two colorways that you saw. Oop. Here, I thought I fixed the band. So granola is comprised of 70% hemp and 30% of, 70% of merino and 30% of hemp. And this is the colorway Klimt, as in the artist. And then this is in the colorway Music of the Night. And no, I'm not gonna sing you a song today, although I'm very tempted to. Love that musical. That was the first musical I've ever watched, by the way. Fun facts about Julie, number 273. Next up, I'm going to share with you two patterns that are in one. So if you were to purchase this pattern for $5, I believe it is, you will get a pattern for a sock, well, a pair of socks, as well as a pair of mitten. Now, regretfully, I don't have the sock sample. I couldn't find it, but I do have the mitten. So the design on the sock is the same as the mitten. So let me come closer. So this is called the Blueberry Coolest, designed by our very own Louise Robert. And on the palm side, so there's design on both sides of the mittens, which I think is kind of atypical. I usually see pattern on the back of your hand and straight stockinette for the palm, but this one is not. It makes it interesting to have cable work on both sides, but notice how there is no beadwork on the palm side, but this side is adorned with some beads. So I think Louise meant to have these little beads there, not only to make it more fun and shiny and festive, but also they're like little blueberries. This is in the colorway Blueberry, but I don't think they are in production anymore. So I think maybe kind of a close one would be a denim. But notice there are actually some little specks of other colors in the original colorway, whereas the denim is more solid. So, but if you were to knit it with a solid color, when you add the little glass beads into the cabling there, it would be just as fun. I think it would make it really nice. And since we're kind of in a Christmassy theme here, a holiday theme, I took the liberty in taking out a very bright red. Actually, it's not that bright, truth be told. It is very red. It's called Phoenix. This is our Bis sock. So imagine if you have a black coat or, you know, like a muted color coat, and, you know, your red mittens peek through. That would be a lot of fun. So some food for thought. So the sock construction, I can just tell you briefly, although I don't have a sample to show you, I'm very sorry. Oh, actually, you know what? I can just show you on my iPad. So that's what it looks like. Like I said, the cable work is like the same as the mitten that I did show you. So both the mitten and the sock, by the way, it is charted for 3 different sizes. So let's start with that. And both of them, you will need to refer to the chart when it comes to the cabling part. And for the sock specifically, it is worked from the cuff down. So you cast on for the cuff, you work down, and then the heel is a short row, done in short row, and then you do the foot, and then you do your toe decreases, Kitchener stitch, you know, the whole 9 yards. And then, and that's it. Actually, no, let's take a peek. Yeah, using the grafting method or 3-needle bind off. So Louise has suggested that you could also do the 3-needle bind off if you wish, but I think most of us are used to just using the Kitchener stitch. I'm making an assumption. You know what? Let's take this opportunity to take a vote, do a survey. Let me know in the comment below what kind of grafting or binding off you use when you are working on your socks from the cuff down. How do you finish off your toes? I do grafting with a Kitchener stitch. It's my favorite. Now the mitten is constructed similarly. There was one more thing I wanted to show you on the mitten that I really liked about the design. So I already talked about how one side has the beadwork and the other is without, which is fine. I mean, I suppose you could put this on like this too, but I don't know why you wouldn't want the beads to be on the outside. But I mean, I suppose in a way they're reversible in terms of like left and right. You could switch between them. But check this. On the side here, this is regular ribbing. And then here is like a cable ribbing. And then it carries all the way through the seam, like the side of your thumb, into the very top. And then you have that blank, and then it continues on that cable, and then it carries through the palm here. So I really like how that line continues on. I really appreciate the symmetry of that. I think that that means the designer is like really conscious about, you know, these aspects. It's not just like random, okay, I have some like nice cable channels here, yay. You know, I mean, these takes thought. So anyway, I thought I would point that out to you. So the pattern is both written out, like I said, but you do need to know how to read chart to do the cabling. In terms of the gauge, you will need to get 8 stitches to 1 inch. In order to follow the pattern along for those sizes. I think that's about it for this pattern or these patterns. I will put links, like I said, in the description box. I'll probably just give you a link to the Biscotte Yarn Bis sock. If after I confirm that the original colorway is not available, then I'll just give you a link to the general Bis sock so you can choose your own color for your mitten project. One more Christmas idea to share with you, since I am dedicating most part of this episode on festive things. So in case those weren't inspiring enough, here is my final inspiration for you guys. This is a little booklet by the RICO Design team on how to make little amigurumis of Christmas characters, or what they call lovingly the RICO-rumis. Let me share with you in here. These are crocheted objects, and these are the objects that they show you how to do in this booklet. Very cute. Very, very sweet. And you see like the little holly berries in here. These are like some ideas as to what to do with them. Of course, there are some wall decors. And then here are like this one here and that as gift wrapping ornaments. So ornaments are not just for your Christmas tree, so it seems. The rickarumi or the yarn from RICO Design, they're all 100% cotton and they come in little skeins, little balls. We have a wall, not a wall, but like a display of them with a lot of different colors. They're very, very cute, especially when you're working on small projects and you need multiple colors. For sure, the little 25 grams balls are very, very helpful. I'm just like flipping through. They're like so cute. I can absolutely see some of these on my Christmas tree, only if I have the time to do everything that I come across. Now, like I said earlier, this booklet is instruction for crocheters, and the terms used in this book are the UK terminology. So you may have to make some notes in the pattern if you're used to seeing the US terms for the crochet pattern instructions. Now, the RICO Design folks, they have many different booklets with different themes for their little rickarumis. So I'll definitely put a link up for this particular product, and I'll also put up a link for like their general rickarumi booklets for crocheting little amigurumis, because I was thinking that might also come in handy for making little stocking stuffers, you know, for little babies. Of course, make sure you don't use any like small things like beads for eyes, kind of like these, or anything that could be a potential choking hazard if you're gonna give this to a baby. I was thinking more like I remember seeing one where there's like a teething ring, so that would be cute for them. Or maybe for your cat or your dog, but I don't know how long that's going to last. My babies would tear it to pieces like within minutes. So maybe not a good idea, but I do also think, I've said this before in a very earlier episode when I was talking about the rickarumis, that it would be a great idea to make little characters and put a little keychain ring on them so that they could be charmed for the kids' backpack or your own bag for that matter. I just think that would be really cute. So some ideas for you, both for yourself, your home, and for your loved ones. And now on to pattern, the next pattern. Let's talk about what I am wearing. It is a scarf knitted in Entac. This one is a free pattern from our website, and of course I will give you a link to it. And this is what it looks like up close, and in the front side, and the back looks like this. So it doesn't look too messy, but you could definitely see the front and the back. It doesn't look bad as a backside either. It's kind of a little bit 3D, you know, with the edges, whereas this one is more flat. And before I go on to talk about how Entac knitting is done, I want to show you this really beautiful yarn. I love jewel tone colors. So this is from the Louise Robert collection, her super sock, which is made of 75% superwash merino and 25% of nylon. And this is in the colorway Sous Bois, S-O-U-S, Sous Bois. So that's this beautiful yarn creating this beautiful scarf. So Entac, what in the world is it? It's actually not that difficult to do. I think I have talked about it a few episodes ago with the watermelon, if you remember. Diamonds Are Girl's Best Friend, I believe that's the name of the shawl, but the sample I showed you was with our watermelon colorway yarn. So how to do this? It has like kind of like a weaving effect, right? So you start off with casting on the entire width of this, and then you work each individual base, I was gonna say rectangle, triangle separately, but all the stitches cast on. And then you would knit one, and then you turn, and then you would purl back, and then the right side's facing, and then you add another stitch. So now you knit two, turn, purl back, and then turn back right side, 3, so on and so forth until you have completed one triangle. I keep wanting to say rectangle. What is going on? And then once this base triangle is done, then you move on to do the same for the next one and the next one. So that's step number 1. And then step number 2, you would do the next set of triangles, which will be this one. And then it's like the same theory. You would just knit 1, go back, knit 2, go back, so on and so forth. Oh, but then you have to add increases and decreases too to make the shaping. So that's the B. And then the next one you would do this one, like this diamond shape, and then the D will be the other side, and then the E will be the ones on top. Here, let me show you a chart. It's probably easier to see because the color is kind of hard to see with the yarn. This is a free pattern, so I'm not too concerned about showing you stuff here. So this is the schedule, if you will, on the order in which you're gonna do your triangles or diamonds. So like I said, you start off with the base triangles, and then you do the side ones, and then you do these diamond ones, and then you do the other side, and then you do these ones. And yes, along the way, you're gonna have to pick up stitches in order to knit like the side of them. Otherwise, things would just be flopping back and forth. And then so on and so forth. So, and then you just kind of like repeat that theme until you have reached your length. The good news is this is how the pattern is laid out. So you start off with A, and then, you know, very clear instructions on how to do that. And then you move on to B, and then, you know, so on and so forth. You just kind of like follow the letters. So it looks complicated. Maybe I'm not explaining it in the easiest way, and I do apologize. Sometimes it's just easier to just do and to explain, but I try. So if you haven't tried this before, definitely give it a try. This looks like it's so complicated, especially with the different colors. Use variegated yarn, and that will look more, it depends on how frequently the colors are spaced. The longer the variegation of the yarn, then the more solid color you will get within each triangle or diamond. So this one is probably a little bit shorter distance, so you see the multicolor within each, which actually works because it looks like it's pretty evenly distributed in each of the boxes. So there is this, the Entac scarf, and it was designed by Louise Robert. A free pattern, like I said, and I will put up a link for that beautiful yarn, also from her collection, in making that scarf. Last but certainly not least, let's talk about what I am wearing. Notice how my partner here, we have swapped outfits. She is now wearing the Entac scarf, and I am wearing her garter the garter lace wrap cardigan. Let's talk about the yarn first, because this yarn is really yummy. It is knitted from the Louise Robert collection, Series Alpaca. And this is in the colorway Belle Brune. I'll have a link of it in the description box, but here is that alpaca. Let me show you. Can I pull a strand? Here, it's already kind of peeking out a little bit, so let's see if you can see it, like the halo-iness, the fuzziness of this alpaca. Ooh, that's a good angle, so you can see that. And in all, you can see like all lumped together. And then let me show you here. So it's not itchy at all, but then to be fair, I have a long sleeve shirt underneath. But anyway, it's very comfortable, it's very soft. So garter lace wrap cardigan is not difficult to make at all. It is something that a beginner may be able to do. It is knitted in 5 different panels, 5 rectangles in the same stitch pattern. You do the back, 1 panel, big panel for the back. You do 2 panels for the front, and then you do 2 panels for the sleeves. And then once all the pieces are done and blocked, then you will sew them together and you will end up with this. So let me stand up and show you the different ways. If I don't tie it, then it's just like this. And the back is, that's the depth of it. The way I had it on the mannequin before was kind of like this, just thrown over. Kind of looked like a ballerina kind of thing going on here. Or you could, I suppose, I was thinking you could probably tie it in the back. If you are wearing a dress with it and you want that out of your way, you definitely could. If I were to only throw 1 panel over, I'm not sure about that. It kind of looks like a toga, but if I throw both over, maybe that might work a little better. Not in this outfit for sure, but like if you have a spaghetti strap dress or something more delicate underneath, I think that would work a lot nicer. So here is that, and here is the lace design. I hope I'm catching it in a good angle so that you can see. It's mostly garter stitch, and the holiness, if you will, are just like little eyelet things, the yarn overs. See if I can take it off and show you the pieces. So here is that back piece, and then here is the front piece, and then here is the sleeve piece, and it's just tacked on. It wasn't knitted in the round, to be clear. And the sleeve, you start from, I'm sorry, my hair's all everywhere. You start from the cuff, and then you knit down the same way as the other panels. So you can see a distinction. Yeah, at the edge here, it's a little bit thicker. It's just a couple rows of garter, and then that's when you start your lace knitting. So again, that is the garter lace wrap cardigan. I'm sorry. I have like pieces of loose hair in my face. It's itchy. So that's the garter lace wrap cardigan, knitted with the Siri alpaca. There will be a link in the description box for the yarn as well as for the pattern. And with that, my friends, we have reached the conclusion of episode 23. So I hope you have enjoyed today's content. And if you do, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to our channels. And if you happen to be working on one of our patterns or using our yarns, definitely hashtag us if social media is your thing. Hashtag Biscotte Yarns so we can take a peek at what you are working on. Until next time, happy crafting.